Hey everyone, welcome back to Edgeverse. Have you ever wondered how you can navigate a crowded city street without getting lost, or remember exactly where you left your keys in a messy room? It's like your brain has its own built-in GPS, mapping out the world in real time. But here's the mind-blowing part. This isn't just about getting from point A to B. It's the foundation for memory, imagination, and even how we make sense of abstract ideas like language and concepts. Today, we're diving deep into our brain's GPS, how neurons map reality in 3D space. Stick around because by the end, you'll see why this neural magic is key to everything from AI to treating Alzheimer's. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more brain science breakdowns. Let's jump in. First off, picture this. You're exploring a new neighborhood, dodging bikes and coffee shops, and somehow your brain is building a 3D model of it all on the fly. This isn't science fiction. It's thanks to a network of specialized neurons working like a team. At the center is the hippocampus, that seahorse-shaped structure in your temporal lobe. Think of it as mission control for spatial awareness. Without it, we'd be lost, literally. Studies show that damage here causes major navigation fails, like forgetting how to get home. But what makes the hippocampus so special? Interplace cells. These are neurons that light up like fireworks when you're in a specific spot. Imagine one firing only when you're at your kitchen table, another when you're by the front door. Together, a bunch of these cells create a map of your whole environment. It's not just a static picture. It's dynamic, adapting if furniture moves or walls change. Why is this cool? Because it shows your brain isn't just reacting, it's predicting and planning. Populations of place cells overlap, making the system super resilient. If one glitches, others pick up the slack. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does the brain measure distances or directions? Great question. That's where grid cells come in, hanging out in the entorhinal cortex right next to the hippocampus. Unlike place cells that pinpoint spots, grid cells fire in a hexagonal pattern, like a honeycomb grid overlaid on your world. As you move, they track how far you've gone and in what direction. It's like having an internal ruler and compass. Different grid cells have varying scales, some for tiny rooms, others for bigger spaces, giving your brain a universal coordinate system. And speaking of direction, let's talk head direction cells. These act like your personal North Star, firing based on where your head is pointing, no matter where you are. Amazingly, they develop super early, even in baby rats before their eyes open. This suggests direction is the foundation everything else builds on. Rhetorical question time. Ever felt disoriented after spinning around? That's your head direction cells recalibrating. But wait, the brain doesn't stop there. It needs context from the environment, right? Enter boundary cells and landmark cells. Boundary cells respond to walls or edges, helping define the shape of a space. Landmark cells lock onto standout features, like a bright red door or a statue. These are mostly in areas like the parahippocampal cortex and retrosplenial complex. Together with place and grid cells, they anchor your mental map so it doesn't drift. So, is all this happening in one isolated brain spot? Nope. Modern research shows spatial navigation is a team effort, a distributed network across regions like the hippocampus, entorhinal cortex, retrosplenial cortex, and posterior parietal cortex. It's not about one superstar area. It's interconnected hubs chatting via low-frequency brain waves. Damage one, and the whole network suffers. This redundancy makes it robust. If part of the system fails, others compensate. Think of it like a web. Pull one thread, and the rest adjust. Now let's zoom out. Navigation isn't one size fits all. There are two main styles, allocentric and egocentric. Allocentric is like using a bird's eye map, independent of your position. That's the hippocampus and grid cells shining, letting you plot shortcuts in a new city. It's flexible, learned fast from just one exposure. Egocentric, on the other hand, is body-centered. Turn left at the tree, right at the bench. This relies more on the basal ganglia for habit-based routes, built through repetition. We switch between them depending on the situation. Exploring a maze? Allocentric. Following your daily commute? Egocentric. And here's where it gets goal-oriented. Navigation ties into rewards. Your brain's ventral striatum mixes hippocampal inputs with dopamine hits from reward centers. So, when you head to your favorite coffee shop, it's not just mapping, it's motivated by that caffeine buzz. Studies show different decision styles too. Route-based is automatic, map-based requires planning. But hold on, this brain GPS does way more than guide your steps. It's crucial for memory. Ever noticed how memories are tied to places? That's no accident. Place and grid cells help scaffold episodic memories, those what, when, where recollections. The retrosplenial cortex, once thought just for memory, even has its own place cells. Even wilder, these spatial tools handle abstract stuff. A new model called DSI, Distributed Semantic and Spatial Integration, says the hippocampus and entorhinal cortex use grid-like codes for ideas and words, not just physical space. So, navigating semantic space, like connecting apple to fruit or tech company, might use the same hexagons as mapping a room. This could explain how our brains evolved from survival navigation to complex thinking, language, and reasoning. Mind blown yet? Let's talk development. This system doesn't pop up overnight. Head direction cells kick in first, even prenatally in some animals, using body movements for calibration. Place and grid cells follow, building on that directional base. Sleep is huge here. During naps, twitches trigger neural rehearsals that organize these maps, like how eye movements wire up vision in babies. Why does all this matter? Clinically, spatial glitches are early red flags for Alzheimer's, hitting the hippocampus hard. Understanding these cells could lead to better diagnostics or treatments. In AI, grid cell-inspired algorithms power robots and self-driving cars, making them navigate like pros. Brain-computer interfaces? We're already decoding neural signals to reconstruct movements, huge for paralysis or VR. But questions remain. How does the brain blend senses like sight, sound, and balance for seamless maps? Why do some people ace navigation while others struggle? Genes, brain wiring. And how do these systems scale from a room to a whole city? Early life experiences, like limited movement, might even shape lifelong spatial skills. Wrapping this up, your brain's GPS is a masterpiece of evolution. Place cells for spots, grids for metrics, directions for orientation, all networked for flexibility. It powers not just walking around, but remembering, planning, and thinking abstractly. As we unlock more, expect breakthroughs in health, tech, and understanding consciousness. If this sparked your curiosity, drop a comment. What's the weirdest way you've ever gotten lost? Like and subscribe for more deep dives into the mind. Share this with a friend who's always using Google Maps. We'll see you next time.